Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Roarivores Allosaurus. I just want to ask you guys something really quick. Do you ever have one of those moments where you buy something at the time, no, you say you're not going to buy something at the time, and then when you see it in stores you think, you know what, this doesn't look too bad, I think I'm going to buy it, and then you buy it, and then later on you realize that you really shouldn't have bought it. That's how I kind of feel about this figure. I'm not a big fan of this thing. I don't hate it, but I will say this, it is probably my least favorite figure from the Jurassic World toy line by Mattel. So far? Actually, no. That's a lie. There are worse figures than this one, but yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's just get into this. So first we'll take a look at the paint. And something interesting about the paint here. This was actually one of the first figures to be leaked out of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy line. And this figure originally had like a blue color scheme, and I am so glad that they changed it to gray, because if this thing was blue, then I feel like that definitely would have made my chances of buying this thing worse. So, yeah. Thankfully, it's not blue, it's gray, which is how it looked in the movie, so I can't really complain there. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling, let's just take a closer look. So as I just mentioned, most of the body is this grayish color, and we do get some yellowish patterns going on the back right here, and even on the tail, as well as on the leg here too. Unfortunately, the toenails are painted, but the fingernails aren't, so we do get the same, problem there. The eyes are painted yellow, with black pupils, but pay attention to that side, just take a close look at that. Everything seems in order there, right? Now let's look at the other side. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that does not look pretty at all. In fact, I really hate how that looks, and I don't understand why Mattel, lets this happen. I just think this is like kind of ridiculous, but for 14 bucks, I guess it's not the end of the world, I guess. So whatever. Yeah, so the eyes definitely could have been much better. On the crest here, we do have a little bit of red. The teeth here are painted the same color as the back patterns right here. For some reason, this thing has a blue tongue, but the membrane itself is pinkish color. And the roof of the mouth is blue too, so I don't really understand why, the membranes here couldn't be just blue either, but whatever. So, yeah, and because I forgot to show this off in the last video, here's the scan code. My camera can focus, and here's the new Jurassic World logo. Honestly, those two features are just kind of at this point, they're not really great, or not. They're there, they're just under the feet, and you kind of forget they're there, so, yeah. So if you really want the scan code, then, the others for the Sinoceratops and, Baryonyx, they're all on YouTube or online, so, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. It's not good, but it's not necessarily bad either. It's decent for what it is. So I'd say the painting on this figure gets a half a pass. It's not great, but yeah, I think a half a pass is pretty fair, so yeah. Anyway, now I'll take a look at the articulation on this figure, and the articulation on this figure, again, is pretty average for a, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom theropod figure. So, the legs can move 360, like so, and the legs can spread like so as well. The arms can move upwards like so, and can move forwards this far and backwards this far. Unfortunately, they cannot do a 360. And you have a button here, and basically what you want to do is you push that button and you get sounds. So here's one sound, which I actually kind of like. That sound is actually not too bad. And then once again, we get a T-Rex sound effect. So not only do we have an Allosaurus that makes T-Rex sounds, but we have a T-Rex sounding Baryonyx, Ceratosaurus, and for some reason Triceratops of all animals. So I don't know why Mattel thinks, oh, let's just give every dinosaur a T-Rex sound. It doesn't make sense at all, and I just think it's really weird. So, yeah, anyway, let's just continue. We have a roaring sound that actually sounds really cool, and we get one last sound. Kind of reminds me of the Indominus Rex, but it still sounds nice. And that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. And the articulation on this figure is basic for a, Fallen Kingdom figure like this, so it's fine. I'd say the articulation, it gets a pass. Now take a look at the sculpt. And the sculpting here, that should sum up everything that's wrong with this sculpt. So, right off the bat, this thing can't really stand well on its own. In order to get it to stand, you have to make it do that, or just do what you used to do with the Jurassic World figures by Hasbro, just that. And even then, I think it'd fall over time. And the balancing here is really bad because the legs, not only are they, so spread apart, but, they're kind of loose as well, so they don't really hold the figure well whatsoever, unfortunately. That, and I feel like the tail here, a little more weight back here would have been nice, but again, this figure doesn't stand well at all. And one other thing I really dislike about this figure would have to be the teeth. They look bad. That actually reminds me of something right out of The Simpsons. It looks like this Allosaurus is about to eat some steamed hams or something like that. And before you get mad and say that's a dead meme, this figure came out when that meme was popular, so I can kind of say it. Kind of. So, yeah. But the rest of the sculpting here doesn't look too bad. I know a lot of people really don't like the design of the Allosaurus from Fallen Kingdom, which I can see, but I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't think that it's executed well on this figure whatsoever. So, yeah. The sculpting here isn't awful, but it's not necessarily great either, so again, because of the balancing issues and the, whatever happened with the teeth here, I'd say that the sculpting here, I'd say gets 3/4 of a pass. A half a pass. So, yeah. Anyway, now that's enough of the sculpt. Now I'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure is actually really good for what it is. So, taking a look at the head here, we can see all the scaling in a few cuts right here, or just one cut that actually looks very nice. Everything here is actually very well defined. And we get some more creasing and wrinkles throughout the neck, which again are defined very nicely. And going to the body here, again we have a bit of a rib cage, which I always thought was weird, or at the time, when I was younger I just kind of accepted, detailing like this, but if a dinosaur or any sort of animal like this had, their rib cage showing like this, then it would probably be starving. So, yeah, it's kind of weird, but, it's there, and it does look very nice. It's defined well, so that's good. The arms are actually detailed very nicely. We have a nice bit of musculature here in the arms right here, and even the claws themselves are detailed very nicely. The legs here are detailed very nicely as well, all of the scaling, and even some cuts here, which again are detailed very nicely. It's just a shame that they're not really painted, but it's whatever. But again, we have some very nice musculature continuing on, and the feet are detailed very nicely as well. Going to the tail here, we can see more scaling and a little bit more musculature underneath right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the detailing. And the detailing on this figure is actually really good for what it is. It's not the best in regards to Mattel figures, but it still looks really nice, so I will give this figure, more credit here than anything. So the detailing, I'd say, definitely gets a pass. So at the end of the day, should you get this? Don't get this. I'm going to be completely honest, I would not get this. I wouldn't even get the new Roarivores Allosaurus, because that thing has some serious problems too, and I'll talk about that figure when we get there. But yeah, no, this figure is not great, not perfect. I wouldn't waste your time with it. This figure costs about $14 bucks, which is not awful And you can actually still buy this in stores like, my Walmart still sell these, or a couple of my Walmarts nearby still sells a lot of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom figures still, which I think is pretty cool. So if you do want this figure, which I don't recommend getting, but still, if you want it, then Walmart is probably going to be your best bet. And if Walmart doesn't have any of these figures, then, well, I wouldn't say eBay or Amazon, because the prices I feel like would be a little bit much, but yeah. Either way, I wouldn't get this figure. It's not great, so yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big it is, here it is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Alright, now that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.